Alright, and we are back for round number 3, and I have won the die roll and will elect to play. And, I guess I'll go ahead and keep this hand. It's okay. We actually. Oh no, we can cast Lingering Souls thanks to Noble Hierarch, so. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this hand. I can cast turn 2 Souls, turn 3 Inquisition Flashback Souls. So, this is a pretty reasonable hand, I hope. And we'll see what old Nobel Peace Prize winner, this this fine lady right here has to say. All right, Island Go. What leads with Island Go? I don't know, maybe some sort of twin deck or something. I don't really know. I'm just gonna cast Lingering Souls. Actually, I should have gone Inquisition Tarmogoyf. That was bad of me, but eh, whatever. Next turn, I'll just play Inquisition Tarmogoyf. Tron. Okay, blue Tron. Alright, Thoughtseize was a great draw. Alright, I'm going to lead with Thoughtseize here because I can play Inquisition. I don't know if my opponent's going to even have something for me in Inquisition, so I'd rather Thoughtseize. This is actually just a bad matchup for us. So they remanded it. Well, I'm gonna use this moment to get a Goyf into play, I think. So we'll hit for 2. And play a Goyf. And then next turn I can fire off some discard. Bluetron's kind of a bad matchup for us though. So I'm a little. This could be bad. Talisman, sure. Hopefully we draw a land. I think a land would be pretty good here. Like something like Township would be great. Now, Bluetron's actually the deck that I played at the Pro Tour, and one of the reasons we played it is because it's good against Abzan. So, yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but we can still win. So I'm going to still try to win. Alright. Whew, wow. That's a hand. Alright, so let's see. Mindslaver, Platinum, Angel, Wormcoil Engine, Thirst for Knowledge, and Thirst for Knowledge. Like, part of me just wants to take both Thirst for Knowledges and leave our opponent with this just uncastable hand. But that's really risky if... That's really risky if they happen to peel a couple lands in a row, because we won't beat this Wormcoil Engine for... But I also feel like leaving them with Thirst for Knowledge is probably a bad idea too. Alright, well I'm going to take Wormcoil and a Thirst, and hopefully one Thirst for Knowledge isn't good enough for them to beat us. Alright, Wormcoil Engine. And that's also going to grow our Goyf too, so... Our opponent can only Thirst once, so I'm actually okay just flashing back Souls instead of playing the Inquisition this turn. So we'll just roll with that. And yeah, we'll just flash back the Souls. And then I can fire Inquisition off next turn. And here I have, you know, a lot of damage available. So there's the Thirst. One of the Thirsts. Discards the Mindslaver, which isn't going to be good against us. Plays another piece of Tron. So we're going to need to draw an answer for Platinum Angel at some point in time in this game. Ooze is not that answer. I'm going to go ahead and fire off this Inquisition. And hopefully they don't have the last Tron piece. We'll see what we hit off of this. Snapcaster Mage, interesting. Just as a chump blocker. Okay, that's reasonable. I guess we're going to take that out of the Thirst then. Alright, it's another tower, which is good. So that our opponent can't actually, doesn't have Tron yet. So it's Platinum Angel, Academy Ruins, Urza's Tower, and we have this Scavenging Ooze, which is going to be really good against the Academy Ruins as well, because our opponent won't be able to return a Worm Coil Engine against us, which is convenient. So, alright, so there's that, and our opponent's dead on board unless they get Platinum Angel into play. In which case we'd have to draw a Liliana or a Path. So hopefully they just don't have anything. There's Academy Ruins, which means it's not Tron. We don't have to worry about Platinum Angel. Hopefully our opponent is just dead. Alright, sweet. Our opponent's dead. Alright, so we are playing against Blue Tron. Stony Silence actually isn't even good against them. I don't actually think I even want Stony Silence. Corrosion might actually be better than Stony Silence because it kills Worm Coil Engine. But I don't know if either of them is good. We also have Path. Path is good against Worm Coil. I want the other Liliana for sure. I want the Thrun. And I want the Fulminators. No, see, what do I know? I don't want Batterskull. I don't want Decay at all. Decay is really bad. I don't want Batterskull. I do want Pulse. Pulse could be a good answer to something like an Ugin, if they have Ugin. Do I want Taziger? Or I definitely want Scavenging Ooze because it eats, it shuts down Academy Ruins shenanigans. What am I cutting? I want all my counter. I want all my discard. Do I want Noble Hierarch? Like, I kind of think I don't want Noble Hierarch. I'm not sure that the acceleration from Noble Hierarch's really actually worth it. Or maybe I don't want Thrun. Like, Rhino's definitely better. Yeah, I don't think I care about Thrun. I don't think Thrun really does anything for us. It's just a big body. Like, they can't counter it, but who cares? I guess we'll keep a couple Noble Hierarchs. Alright, we'll run this and see how this works out for us. I know from playing Blutron that I was not scared of Stony Silence, and in fact it's actually a mulligan if your opponent has Stony Silence, so that's why I didn't want to bring it in. This hand's like mediocre, but I have to keep it, so and hopefully we draw like a Liliana or something of the like. Well, we drew another land, which is probably worst possible. Alright, so our opponent has Spell Burst, Urza's Power Plant, Talisman, Thirst, Spell Snare, Worm Coil. Huh. Well, if we take Talisman of Dominance, our opponent can't cast a blue card unless they draw an island. And we have we have Path for Wormcoil, which will give them an island. Huh. I think we have to take Talisman of Dominance and just hope they don't draw an island. Yep, we'll take Talisman of Dominance and just hope that our opponent just doesn't draw an island. It's kind of a weird strategy, but our hand's pretty bad. I mean, I think that's our... Oh, they drew an island. Alright, well, we got punished for that. Liliana. And they have Spell Burst, so I can't really cast this Liliana without it getting Spell Bursted. There's the Power Plant. They have Thirst for Knowledge as well. Well, this is probably going to be a game that we lose. Yeah, I mean, I just have to actually just cast this Liliana because I can't afford to just sit here and do nothing this turn. Like, it's going to get Spell Bursted, but it's better than them Thirsting for Knowledge, I think. Maybe that's wrong. Because maybe, oh, wow. I'm just going to let it resolve. I'm okay with that. I will discard Overgrown Tomb. Spell Snare, okay. And this is the Thirst. So I think our opponent's trying to keep Spell Burst with buyback a thing. Which is pretty good, but our Liliana ultimate can disrupt that, so at some point he has to actually take an action. Discarding Plat, okay. Alright, let's see what happens here. Hopefully not Tron. Our opponent has 6 cards we know. One of them is Wormcoil Engine and one's Spell Burst. Urborg. I definitely don't need Urborg, so let's start by having each discard a card, and I'm just going to pitch this Urborg. Another Power Plant, okay. And I don't think we really ever need more than one white source, so I'll probably just discard this Marsh Flats to Liliana and play the Woodland Cemetery, because I'd rather have an extra green source in case I draw a Scavenging Ooze. Alright, so letting Siege Rhino resolve. Interesting. I think our opponent's going to try to, like, set up Spell Burst with buyback, but that seems a little greedy. There's Academy. It seems a little greedy to not just blow the Spell Burst on either of these cards. Oh wait, Spell Burst. I might have Spell Burst wrong. Yeah, I'm really dumb. I thought Spell Burst was I think Spell Burst works differently than I think it does. Oh, let's cancel that. Let's actually start by having us each discard a card. I'm going to discard this Marsh Flats. Discards the Wormcoil. Okay. Yeah, so Spell Burst, I believe, works. So I'm just going to actually pull this up real fast. Spell Burst. Okay, yep. Alright, so Spell Burst counters a spell with converted mana cost actually X. So this Inquisition actually can't be cast into a Spell Burst. Because he can just pay 1 to counter it and then buy back Spell Burst, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm forced to just kind of sit on it and wait. Another Thirst. Okay, that's good for him. Discarding Mindslaver. Alright, well, our Liliana's on ultimate, so our opponent's going to need to find some answer for Liliana, because I am probably going to wreck their mana base if this Liliana ultimate's solemn. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to start with an Inquisition and see what we have, what we're looking at. Okay, Snapcaster, Burst, Treasurer, Mage, Aetherize. Interesting. I think the scariest card here is Snapcaster Mage. I'm actually not worried about any of these other cards because I already have a dominating board presence and I'm about to ultimate this Liliana that's going to make that spell burst worthless. So we'll go ahead and take Snapcaster. So Burst, Treasure Mage, Aetherize. And then now so I can actually +1 Liliana one more turn instead of ultimating. But that would require me to not attack with Siege Rhino. So I think I'd rather just ultimate. I'd rather just ultimate now and get it out of the way, so and not risk anything. But I have to decide how I want to split it. Alright, so I think one pile is going to be the 3 islands and the Solemn. And then the other pile is just going to be the 3 colorless lands. So then or maybe I'm supposed to separate the Tron pieces. So he's Aetherize, Treasure Mage, and Spell Burst. Huh. We have a Path to Exile, which can take care of anything big. I just want to definitely keep him off of Tron, and I want to keep him on as little mana as possible. I think I have to split these pieces of Tron, and I think I have to... Yeah, I think I have to split it like this. Okay. And now, basically, by ultimating Liliana there and like keeping him off of Tron, it puts me in a position where I don't have to worry as much about some of these other cards. Alright, well, he just drew another tower. That's bad. He has Treasure Mage, Aetherize, and Spell Burst. And one unknown card that was drawn off of either the Solemn or for turn. There's a Treasure Mage. Probably just going to get another Wormcoil Engine, I would assume. Sundering Titan, interesting. Well, I'm going to leave this Marsh Flats uncracked in case we get Sundering Titans. Ooh, that was a good draw. And now he is just basically essentially dead, barring a miracle here. Oh, I guess there's Aetherize. But even Aetherize isn't that big of a deal because I can just recast both these Rhinos. Alright, well, I think I want to actually attack with both because it lets me recast them both. So that actually seems like really good for me. I can just play a Rhino this turn and then play another Rhino next turn and my opponent's just dead. He can spell burst the second Siege Rhino, but it's just not going to be enough. Alright. We ended up beating Blue Tron, which is one of the bad matchups for this deck. But I actually played Blue Tron at the Pro Tour and I did pretty bad, including losing to Abzan. So one of the things about Blue Tron is it's kind of a high variance deck where a lot of times the draws just don't come together. While it may be favored in this matchup, sometimes you just don't draw the right cards and you end up losing. I mean, our opponent didn't even draw that badly, really. Like, he had all the right cards in the matchup. He had multiple thirsts, he had Worm Coil, things like that. But just some timely discard spells on a Liliana, and just a single Siege Rhino for most of the game was enough to really put the pressure on him. So we ended up winning this round, and we are now 2-1. Hopefully, you'll stay tuned for round number 4 in our quest to go 3-1 and cash this daily event.